Leavanny's never been great, until now. Other than a decent 103 attack, its stats are okay at best, and combined with the worst type combination in the game, it leaves a lot to be desired. However, it does get some decent stab options that level up with Leaf Blade and X-Scissor, as well as Triple Axle by Machine for coverage against flying types. But the way we really get this going is with Fell Stinger. It's a weak move at base 50, but if it gets the knockout blow on a Pokemon, it raises the user's attack by 3 stages, giving it a 2.5 times multiplier and allowing it to go on a tear. We might even be able to use the Chlorophyll ability to double our speed in the sun and really get things popping, and then suddenly you gotta go back home and tell your boys you got chiefed up by a leaf bug. Okay, so this team is designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to make sure that Leavanny can mash work. Right? So we've got Torkoal with the Heat Rock, which means it sets sunlight up with its drought ability, and that sunlight lasts as long as possible. So I think we'll get 8 turns out of it with the Heat Rock. We've got Cleavor there to be able to set up some hazards with the Stone Axe, but also just to cut through some early damage if I can get it off. Now, it looks like they're going to lead with that Glimmora, so I'm probably not even going to get a chance to utilize Cleavor that much, at least not as a lead. But that's generally what it's there for, just to get that happening, to be able to put those Stealth Rocks up and get rid of any Focus Sashes, anything like that. So when Leavanny is in sweeping mode, it's just able to do it. There's no Sturdy, no Sashes to worry about. Skarmory is there with Blissey just to provide a double pivot, so we've got a load of physical defense and a load of special defense there. And Toxapex, whilst also bulky in both defenses, Toxapex is there to get rid of any toxic spikes that might be on the field, because that is something that would stop Leavanny being able to stay in for as long as it might want to. So if there's any of that on the field, and we're definitely going to get some use out of that, because Toxic Debris is Glimmora's signature ability. So any of those spikes that are on the field, as long as we keep Toxapex alive, we get on those spikes, soak them up, and we can reset our strategy. So we've got a lot of bulk in this team, so there's no real reason to make too many sacrifices. We've got nice switches in, we've got ways of phasing Pokemon in and out, we've got plenty to deal with any kind of threat that we're facing, and Leavanny is just going to be able to hopefully come in at a really good opportune moment, get that damage off. Hopefully the cherry on the cake here will obviously be getting a Fell Stinger off, so we can get a Pokemon down to red health and get that Fell Stinger off. Then we get that +3 boost and we can really start rampaging. Okay, so our opponent sends out the Glimmora lead, which we kind of expected that. We're expecting to have those toxic spikes pop on the floor, but we are going to go with the Blissey and get some damage done. We have got the Assault Vest on this Blissey. Most people expect a full support Blissey, but we go Assault Vest to try and get the Serene Grace effects on whatever we can. So they're going for these toxic spikes regardless of whether we make contact or not. Yeah, should have seen that coming. And that is something that we need to be ready to deal with. We do get the special defense drop here. So we kind of want to get Glimmora out of play as early as possible. I imagine they'll switch here. If it was me, I would switch. So yeah, they do. They switch out from that Glimmora now. What are they going to bring in? They bring in the Grimmsnarl, of course. Takes no damage from Psychic here. So that is just a free switch into the Grimmsnarl. At this point, maybe they're looking at this as if I'm choiced. We're not going to give them any information as to whether we are or not. We're just going to switch into Toxapex and get rid of those toxic spikes. We want to give our sweeper as much freedom to stay in without them being on a timer. So switching on Stealth Rocks is fine. Toxic Spike's not so much. So they're putting up a screen there. And of course that light screen's there to try and hamper the Blissey, which was never really the threat here. So we're going to get Toxic off as they go for a Reflect. They get both screens up, which is smart from them. And we put Grimmsnarl in a situation where it can't freely stay in. And we'll be forced to switch in and out and try and reset that Toxic timer. It just gives us a reason to be in control of the situation there, as we now go for a Venoshock if they do decide to stay in here. It's unlikely that they will. So now what do they switch into? They switch into the Snorlax. Now Snorlax usually, well, Snorlax's two abilities are Thick Fat and Immunity. Something tells me this is an immunity Toxapex. An immunity Snorlax, should I say. Something tells me this is immunity. Do we test his gangster? I'm not sure. Yeah, why not? Let's just see what we're dealing with. Okay, so we tested his chain, and it's tarnishing. So this is a Thick Fat Snorlax, and they go for Belly Drum as we get that Toxic off. So they're maxed out in attack here, and they're gonna have the citrus. Oh, it's leftovers rather than the citrus berry. Okay. And Toxic on this is a bad situation to be in. We can store this out with a Baneful Bonker here as well, which is fantastic for us. And they go for the Earthquake. The max attack Earthquake on the Snorlax is a little bit spooky. So they're going, of course, for those leftovers, that leftover recovery. But the poison is gonna out damage that healing now. It was a good tactic from them to go for the screens and then set Snorlax up behind those screens. I do love a Grimmsnarl setup, but we're working around that, and we've got Skarmory here to completely dodge the Earthquake, which is fantastic for us. And I doubt that Snorlax has anything that's really going to do much to Skarmory. And of course, the Skarmory Blissey pivot, that double pivot, is one of the classics from all the way back to Gen 2. It just allows you to cover both on the physical and the special side quite nicely. As they go for that Protect there. We went for the Body Press, but they're not having it. They wouldn't take much from it anyway because of those screens, but still, it was worth a go. And they've seen what we've got now, so we know that they've got Body Slam. No, we know that they've got Protect. They've probably got Body Slam. We know they've got Earthquake and Belly Drum. So we go for another Body Press here. We're going to outspeed them regardless. And that is Snorlax out of the game. So that's one considerable threat just dealt with. And we get rid of that light screen. So we're in a good situation here. We've got a triple pivot in this team, where we can just be very, very defensive and make sure that we're in the right position here. Now, Skarmory, this is very much a supporting Skarmory. It is just here to pivot. So, the Gengar now is potentially going to have a Focus Blast, which is what I was worried about. So we go into Blissey here. And we know that we eat whatever Gengar throws at us. They go for the Thunderbolt, which would have hurt Skarmory as well. So this double pivot, again, it just allows us to be very, very assured in terms of what we're dealing with here. So looking at the options there, we've got rid of the Snorlax. They haven't brought out the Gardevoir yet, which might switch into this. So we thought Gengar would switch out because Gengar has seen Psychic. and they go into the Grimmsnarl, which we predicted one of those switches for sure, and we get the Shadow Ball off instead. So we know it would have done a lot of damage to the Gengar, but also it just means it's not a free switch in on the Grimmsnarl. It's only chip damage, but we take that. They're probably going to look to set some screens up again, and this might be a good opportunity to get Torkoal in. So Torkoal, of course, sets up the Sunlight, which is going to be really, really important for us getting Leavanny in, because we need that speed. We definitely need that speed. So we get the Bright Sunlight going, and they go for the Spirit Break, okay? So they were trying to get us on the physical side of things, but we are quite bulky here with Torkoal as well. So Torkoal able to completely chew up that damage there. And we're going to try and get this Rapid Spin off, so we can get rid of those spikes. Now, if they predict it and go into Gengar, that is a Master Stroke, and they have switched out here. They have switched out, and what are they going into? They're going to Gardevoir, that's fine. Okay. So, we Rapid Spin, we get those Stealth Rocks off the field for us, and we get a Speed Boost, which isn't that important, but it might make us slightly faster than Gardevoir now. It doesn't, and Gardevoir uses Psychic, and that is Torkoal gone, which now means that we need to get Leavanny in pretty much straight away here, because we've got limited sunlight now. So we're gonna want that speed boost in play. So Leavanny comes in, probably the least imposing Pokemon of all time, but we've got some moves here. We've definitely got some moves. It's a bad typing Grass Bug, but for now we can get some stuff off, and we get the nice little crit there on the Leaf Blade. Hold that. Hold that. Now, as well, we do have the Focus Sash on this, so if we do take a hit, it's not the end of the world. Now, Glimmore comes back in, but as long as Leavanny is in play, the entry hazards won't be much of an effect. Now, I'm considering switching out here just to get rid of... but then I just want to stay in. If I stay in, I don't have to worry about these entry hazards. So I can just get rid. So there's a Triple Axe, so this should kill. So we'll get the Toxic Debris because we are making contact now. But there we go, as long as we hit the third one, we're good. Because we can always get rid of Toxic Spikes if we need to. It's just making sure that it doesn't get the opportunity to put Stealth Rocks up. And it doesn't. So, there we go. Good stuff. Now, Gengar comes in here. Now, of course, the idea here is we would love to get Fell Stinger off. It's probably not going to happen right now. Now, Triple Axle could still do a lot of damage. Gengar isn't the bulkiest. And if we can get rid of the Grass type, then its incoming Sludge Bomb would do less. We know a Sludge Bomb or a Sludge Wave is happening, right? So I might trust it like, no. We'll just go for it. Oh, the Cursed Body, but it's not going to stop this one landing though. There we go, and there's a crit there, and this one doesn't do enough to kill. And, oh, they go for Nasty Plot, which is great for us. Maybe they thought we were going to switch out. And not terrestrializing has actually kind of worked in my favor here. Now we can go for the Fell Stinger, and we get our attack boost. So not killing was probably the best thing that could have happened for us there. Because now we are +3 attack, and we've got double speed in the sun. And suddenly Leavanny's looking a little bit scary. Suddenly Leavanny is looking a little bit scary now. What do we go for here? We've got options. We've got options. X-Sizzle could be good. That is a lot of raw damage. Leaf Blade as well. High crit chance. I wouldn't mind a crit here. And Triple Axle is... it's disabled. I was going to go for it. So we go for the Leaf Blade here. And they go for the Fake Out, which is fair enough. It does break my sash. They don't know I've got a sash, but I don't have one anymore. Now, the Sunlight's gone, so Leavanny is now back to normal speed. But it's still faster than Grimmsnarl, so that's okay. So we can go for a Leaf Blade here. They're probably going to get Reflector, which would make sense. they really should get Reflect up here. But they don't. They don't go for Reflect. They probably went for a Spirit Break there, maybe thinking they could do enough. But they can't. So Triple Axe was no longer disabled, and we've got, I think, one Pokemon left, and it's just the Milotic. It is just the Milotic left. Milotic, is it faster than Leavanny naturally? I'm not sure, it might be. It's not, and we get that Leaf Blade at +3, and that is a Leavanny sweep. That is a Leavanny sweep. Absolute body bag. And have you ever seen Leavanny do that? I doubt it. If you enjoyed this battle, click like on it and subscribe if you want to see more Pokemon content. I create a lot of educational and just battle content in general. And if you want to see some real deep dives into Pokemon strategy and tactics and getting the best out of Pokemon that aren't necessarily that good and turning them into real forces to be reckoned with, I'd suggest checking out the Patreon. The link is in the description. It's also on the screen right now. Patreon.com/Shogunash, and you can support me and my content, and also get sneak peeks, early access to content, and exclusive deep dives, as well as non-Pokemon related stuff. It's really good over there. Check it out. But again, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, take care. Peace.